The secret to a great career as a chiropractor is to focus on the bad times, not the good times. What do I mean by that? Well, I heard this statistic recently that I thought was really interesting, where the researchers were looking at over relationships with couples at a time. How do you predict whether they're going to break up or not? And they found that actually, looking at the good times, you would think, do they have a lot of fun together? Do they have good times together? They enjoy that time? That really didn't predict at all how likely they were to break up in the future there. So yes, you would think that couples who had no fun time did a bit better than those who had a lot of fun time. Partly, but it was way less impactful than you think. And looking at the actual degree of how good things were really didn't allow them to predict much more at all. What really did was a much stronger predictor is how bad the bad times were. If you think about it, you've probably had this before in a relationship, maybe yourself, or maybe it's a friendship where when things are great, they're really, really good. But oh man, when they got bad, they got toxic quick. And when that happens, you will start to go, is it worth it? Like the fun's fun, but I feel so rubbish when this happens. I don't know if I'm going to stick around. And it was far more important in terms of predicting those long-term marriages and long-term relationships to look at the frequency and the depth of the bad times. You could be up here most of the time, but a couple of really bad drops, that's all it takes to make people question, do I want to stay in this at all? That's true for chiropractors as well. And when you think about your career, a lot of the times when you're struggling in imposter syndrome, there's advice around like gratitudes and focus on the good things. And I know the patients that really drain you, or the ones who weren't getting better, or that frustrates you. Focus on all the patients you've helped. I'm not saying that's never useful, but if you don't focus on those negative things and how you can fix them, you are probably never going to really enjoy this career like you could. And you're probably always going to struggle with things like imposter syndrome and burnout and that sort of thing, because the lows can drag you down so hard, they can make it hard to, even appreciate what's going on with the highs. And the highs can be great, but that doesn't stop you going, you know what, when this sucks, this really, really sucks. So if you're struggling or you're not quite enjoying what you're doing, or you're fairly new in practice, I want you to resist this temptation to just focus on the good stuff. You want to focus on the negative things, not in terms of dwelling though. I don't mean spend all your time thinking about the patients who won't get better, but focus on it as a problem to be solved. Look at it and go, oh, you know what? These kinds of patients I find really tough and really draining. They always leave me feeling zapped for the rest of the afternoon. I'm not even showing up for my good patients that well. How can I approach this differently? Do I need to change the way that I communicate with these people? Do I need to change the way that I'm thinking? Do I need to get some advice on how do you guys deal with patients when they come in and they're real energy vampires, whatever it might be? Or it might be, every time a patient comes in and says, I'm not feeling better yet, I feel anxious and I don't quite know how to respond to that. Or, it's these radiculopathies. I really feel like I haven't got a good handle on them. You need to look at those things, because if you can take the bad times and improve your skill set so that they're not quite as bad, that will pay off far, far higher, or far, far more rather, than just focusing on how to get the good times a little bit more. Because if you think about the good times, they're already good. There's not a lot of room to improve them. You'd have to shift all of them up significantly, which is going to be really hard, because going from 80 to 100% is really, really tough to really make a difference in sort of the average set point there. But if you can take the times to suck you down to a 1, and go, oh, you know what? If I made it so they just didn't suck me down to 1, they sucked me down to a 20, even just that less of a dip, that's going to bump things up significantly in the average, and you're going to enjoy the good times even better. So don't spend all your time just trying to positive psychology, focus on the good stuff. That can lead to toxic positivity as opposed to toxic negativity sometimes. You do want to focus on the negative things. So action point for this video is think about what are the times that really drain you, or really freak you out, or really stress you. What are those situations that you find yourself running through your head at 11 p.m. at night when your head's hit the pillow and you're wide-eyed, not able to sleep? What are the times that make you go, oh, I've got that today. Oh, I'm going to feel anxious all day. What are the times that just leave you feeling a little bit frustrated? It annoys me every time that happens. It doesn't have to be a big fear imposter syndrome there. It can just be a low level frustration. But look at the ones that make you go, oh, this again. And then think, okay, what can I do to deal with those? Rather than chasing the next shiny object or going on some new fun technique or this kind of thing, think about what professional development can I do? What learning can I do? That maybe doesn't mean a course. Maybe it just means talking to colleagues. But what can I do to help make this really draining situation less draining? Because if you do that, I promise you, it has a much bigger impact on your career overall. I love what I do. I really enjoy what I do every day. That doesn't mean I don't have tough times, but I know how to deal with them now. And I've taken those sort of 1s and 2s and I've bumped them up. So maybe they only drop me to a 40. Like that's a huge increase in average, satisfaction, positivity there as well. So have a think about that and then start creating just a plan. Think, what can I do to try to get over this? The first step might just be asking others for help, asking online, reaching out. Like email me. I'm always happy to chat to people on email or Messenger as well. But do something about that, because otherwise if you keep avoiding that long term, it's not going to get any better and you might still end up breaking up with chiropractic long term. So have a think about that, and any questions, let me know.